evening, everyone. Welcome to Atlanta, where tonight it's Game 3 in the series between the Houston Astros and the Atlanta Braves. I'm Pete Van Weeren, along with Skip Carey, welcoming you to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where tonight the Houston Astros will try to do something no team has ever done before since the Braves came to Atlanta in 1966, and that is sweep a season series. But the Astros took 3 straight from the Braves here back in June, and they have a chance for a 3-game sweep here tonight. But the big story today, Skip, is the Braves continue to fine-tune their roster, getting ready for that September 1st deadline.
Well, they sure are. John Schuerholz has had a very, very busy day. First of all, Matt Murray goes to the Red Sox for a young right-handed pitcher named Mike Jacobs and a young outfielder named Mark Lewis. And Terrell Wade, who was 9-9 at Richmond, is recalled in that deal. So Matt Murray goes home to Boston. That deal also satisfies the Mike Stanton trade. But that's not all of it. Eddie Perez was activated today, as I'm sure you know, and Rod Nichols has been designated for assignment. If he takes that assignment, he will wind up back at Richmond and maybe back here in a couple of days. So the Braves have satisfied the Stanton deal. They've gotten 2 young prospects out of Class A ball. The pitcher 8-3 with a good earned run average. The outfielder hit .301, stole 24 bases, and maybe we'll hear from them in the future. But now our roster pretty well set, I would guess.
Yeah, pretty well set. The 25-man group will include 2 left-handers out of the bullpen, 3 catchers, 10 pitchers on the staff. So the Braves have finalized that roster for postseason play. But first, tonight, they've got to get by this Houston ball club, and they've got the best pitcher going that they could possibly have to try to end this skid against the Astros as Greg Maddux goes against Doug Drabek. And we'll be back to Atlanta with the lineups and all the action right after this.
Time for your Pep Boys starting lineups for Houston. Brian Hunter leads it off in center field. Milt Thompson in right field. He has really done well in his career against Greg Maddux. Craig Biggio is the second baseman batting third, and Derek May in left field hits cleanup. Dave Magadan plays first, hits fifth. Craig Shipley is the third baseman batting sixth. Ricky Gutierrez, the shortstop, bats seventh. Pat Borders will catch and hit eighth, and Doug Drabek will do the pitching for the Houston team. Drabek 7-7, a 4.91 earned run average. 1-0 this year, 10-8 lifetime against Atlanta. There's a quick look at your defense. Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, with Tom Hallion, Bruce Fremming, and Jerry Crawford around the bases. Hunter steps in, and here with the play-by-play story, once again, Pete Van Weeren.
Okay, thank you, Skip. You see the numbers for Greg Maddux on the year. 14-6 lifetime with a 2.10 earned run average against Houston. And because of his success against the Astros, and because the Astros have had some success in the first 2 games of this series, manager Terry Collins says, look for anything tonight. He said, we might hit and run with the bases loaded if we ever get into a situation like that. He said, we're going to pull out all stops tonight to try to get something going against Greg Maddux. The 0-1 pitch to Hunter right down the middle for a called strike, 0-2. Hunter 317, couple of home runs, including that broken bat shot here on Tuesday night. Now the 0-2 pitch. High chopper over the mound. Charging at Rafael Belliard. No chance to throw out the speedy Brian Hunter. So an infield hit for Brian Hunter to start things here in the first inning. And that'll bring up Milt Thompson. Normally a pinch hitter for Houston, but because of his .349 lifetime average against Greg Maddux in the starting lineup tonight. I was really surprised to go back through the Braves media guide all the way back to 1966 and find that they had never been swept by anybody in a season series here in Atlanta.
Especially the first 3 or 4 years we were together. You would have sworn that it happened several times.
And likewise for the Houston Astros, and they've been around since 1962. They have never swept the season series from a team on the road. Here's the pitch to Milt Thompson. That's high, ball 1. Nobody out. Hunter at first. If you have followed the Braves and the games Greg Maddux has pitched, you know that when teams do get runners, especially speedy ones, they often take liberties, and a lot of stolen bases occur with Maddux on the mound. A little bit high to Thompson. The count 2-0. .22 bases stolen with Maddux on the mound. Only 3 caught stealings, and there goes Hunter. Got a huge jump back to Maddux. No chance for a play at second. On to first in time to get Milt Thompson. So no double play because Hunter had that base stolen if Thompson doesn't make contact. 1 down.
He got a terrific jump here, about 4 steps before Greg. Look at him field his position. He's Gold Glover there, as well as a Cy Young Award candidate yet again.
Now second baseman Craig Biggio hitting .291 with 19 homers and 63 RBIs. The Astros, by the way, announcing today that Jeff Bagwell will return to the club in time for the weekend series, which begins tomorrow. He's been at Jackson rehabbing, Double-A ball. Little chopper hit toward short. Another tough chance for Belliard. This time he gets the throw on to first in time. Hunter moves over to third. 2 outs.
Did you hear what happened to Bagwell last night?
Got hit.
Got hit by another pitch, but luckily was not seriously hurt down in.
But he'll rejoin
Jackson.
Houston tomorrow when they take on the Florida Marlins back in Houston. Now Derek May, the left fielder, with a runner at third. 2 outs. He's hitting .288. 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. One ball, no strikes. Derek Bell still out of the Astro lineup with a quadricep pull. Swung at a pitch, maybe out of the strike zone there. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the ground, up the middle, and through into center field for a base hit. Brian Hunter scores, and the Astros are on the board. Derek May drives in his 19th run of the year. Might have broken his bat, but got enough of it to get it between Lemke and Belliard.
They haven't exactly beaten the daylights out of the ball, but they got a run, and that's all that counts. Let's take another look at it. Just did get it through.
1-0 Houston. Now the first baseman Dave Magadan batting .289 for the year. He has only hit at a .226 clip against Maddux in his career.
May is 4 out of 4 in the stolen base department. They could send him. Magadan not really a power hitter.
First pitch on the way to Magadan, taken for a strike, 0-1. Maddux going after his 15th win of the year tonight. Two men out with May at first, 1 run in. Here's the 0-1. Good changeup, makes it 0-2 now on Magadan. The Astros, who snapped an 11-game losing streak in the first game of this series on Tuesday, still very much alive in the National League wild card hunt. A half game behind Colorado and the Dodgers, one of which would right now qualify for the wild card spot. The other would. One of them is going to win the National League West in all likelihood. 1-2 the count now, and Magadan. Runner going on the 1-2 pitch, and he fouls it off to the right. Derek May will have to turn around and go back.
Phillies won their game today 6-0. Sid Fernandez got the win, but had to leave the game in the 7th with a stiff back. Boy, their injury problems, amazing.
And his injury problems in his career equally so.
I don't know how serious, but it did force him out of a game. He was pitching a shutout.
He's pitched quite well for them.
He saved him
after a shaky start with the Orioles this year. Still 1-2 on Magadan. May not going this time. It's fouled back again. Still a ball and 2 strikes. So it looks like all the roster moves are finished, although you've still got a few hours before the midnight deadline. And the Braves doing as John Schuerholz and Bobby Cox said they probably would about a month ago, get the staff down to 10 pitchers. It'll go right back up to 11 or 12 or maybe even 13 after September 1st when the rosters can expand. But for postseason play, those rosters have to be set by midnight tonight. And it'll be a 10-man pitching staff for Atlanta and 3 catchers. Right back to Maddux, inning over. But the Astros on the board on an RBI single by Derek May. We go to the bottom half of the first. Houston 1, Atlanta coming up.
Braves line up like this. Marquise Grissom in center. Mark Lemke plays and bats second. Chipper Jones plays and bats third. Fred McGriff at first base bats fourth. David Justice in right field hitting fifth. Luis Polonia gets a start tonight hitting sixth. Charlie O'Brien catches, hits seventh. Rafael Belliard at shortstop hitting eighth. Greg Maddux will do the pitching. Drabek 7-7 for the year, 10-8 lifetime against Atlanta.
And pitching tonight on 3 days rest. Originally in this series, Greg Swindell was scheduled to pitch the third and final game, but remember he had to come in and pitch 2 innings of relief in that extra inning victory for the Astros on Tuesday night. So Doug Drabek moved up a day and Swindell moved back. He'll pitch against Florida now. This has not been one of Doug Drabek's better seasons. And Marquise Grissom will lead things off for Atlanta, down to 250 now for his last 11 again. He has had a tough month. First pitch swinging, fly ball, pretty well hit right center field. It is going to be the center fielder, Brian Hunter, calling off Milt Thompson. Remember in game 1 in this series, a ball hit by Chipper Jones just like that, dropped between the center fielder and the right fielder. And it was Milt Thompson that called Brian Hunter aside in the Houston dugout after that happened.
And they very nearly did it again. But Hunter able to make the play.
Now Mark Lemke hitting 243. I'm sure what Milt Thompson told Brian Hunter was you got to take charge when you're out there in center. If you can get to a ball, you make the call and we'll get out of your way. 0-1 the count of Lemke. That caught the outside corner. It's 0-2. Drabek's last start was an ugly one against the Florida Marlins. He got knocked out after 4 innings, giving up 6 runs, 6 hits, walking 2. 1-2 the count. Now the 1-2 to Lemke is taken outside, 2-2. This homestand starting out just like the road trip did. The Braves lost the first 2 on that road trip to the Cardinals that wound up winning 7 out of 10. And they've lost the first 2 since coming home to Houston. 3-2 now in Lemke. In the air, left center field, Derek May there for the catch. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Chipper Jones. Bobby Cox was commenting, Skip, the other day about, and we'd have to go back and check and find out how many times this has happened, but he said it seems like every time we get back off the road, the first game or 2 that we play, we don't play as well as we normally do. And he has no explanation for it.
That's hard to understand unless it's all the honeydews that y'all, you know, when you've been gone 10 days, a lot of errands to be run and stuff. But
pitch on the way to Chipper is a strike right through there, 0-1. 271 with 18 homers and 70 runs driven in. Another fly ball left center. Hunter calls off May. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Doug Drabek. The Braves go quietly in the bottom of the first. At the end of 1, Houston won, half out of nothing. Top of the second, Craig Shipley leads it off with the Astros up 1-0. He takes a strike from Maddux. Shipley 255, couple of homers, 19 RBIs. He'll be followed by Ricky Gutierrez and then Pat Borders. Down the right field line, just as had him shaded that way. Not too far to go for it. One down. Al Galima checking on that Braves performance, first game back off a road trip this year. Bobby Cox is right. Braves have come back off the road 9 times. They've in that first game back home, they've won 2 and they've lost 7. So for some strange reason, the Braves have played some of their worst baseball. First day back at home. Ricky Gutierrez hitting .232. First pitch swinging, 2 hops to Lemke. And quickly 2 are down here in the top half of inning 2. That'll bring up the catcher, Pat Borders. Still having trouble getting it going offensively. 2 out of 22 after coming over from Kansas City, where he was hitting .231. A ball and no strikes on Borders. Two and 0. Just off the outside corner, ball 3, 3-0. 8th time this year for Maddux. 3-0 count all year. There's a strike, 3-1. Deep short, long throw necessary from Belliard, and he gets it there for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Astros in the second. We go to the bottom half of inning 2. Still 1-0 Houston.
This telecast, authorized under rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission of the pictures or descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
It'll be the middle third of the order due up for Atlanta. Fred McGriff, David Justice, and Luis Polonia, who gets the start in left field tonight. McGriff will start things. Hitting .271, 20 home runs. Leads the club with 77 runs driven in. 14 for 28 lifetime against Doug Drabek. A .500 batting average. 3 of those 14 hits have left the yard. Driven foul down the right side. 0-1 the count on Fred McGriff. One ball, 1 strike. Astros outfield playing McGriff to pull a little bit more than most outfields do. He could not stop his swing there, and the count 1-2. Two and 2. Cubs come in tomorrow night to open up a 3-game series. Another good pitching matchup. Tom Glavine against Jim Bullinger. It's full now on McGriff, 3 and 2. Here's the 3-2 on the way. High and deep to right center field. Back goes Hunter. Another home run by Fred McGriff off Doug Drabek. And we are tied 1-1. Fred McGriff's 21st homer of the year. And he's now 15 for 29 lifetime against Doug Drabek.
And he keeps his hopes alive of reaching that 30 home runs and 100 RBIs again. He's got to get 9 more of them. This one is smacked, a line drive. And he knew it right away.
So we are tied at 1. David Justice, the batter. 263, 21 homers, and 65 RBIs this year for Justice. He's 10 for 32 with 4 career homers off Drabek. Takes the first one low, ball 1. Outside corner, 1-1 the count. Well, about 2 weeks ago, it looked like Fred McGriff had no chance of getting to 30 homers. And all of a sudden, the swing was there. This is game 115 for Atlanta. So still 29 games left. Actually, 28 plus a couple of innings in that completion of the suspended game.
Hopefully just 1 inning. If the Braves can get that run home.
3-1 now on Justice.
When is that? Is that a week from tomorrow night, I guess?
That'll be the first game in Florida. Down the left side. Bouncing around in the Houston bullpen. It's a week from tonight.
Lemke will be at third with nobody out.
Full count, 3-2 on David Justice. Fred McGriff has hit 6 home runs now in his last 21 games. And now is 9 away from that 30 level. Here's the 3-2. And a walk to David Justice to put a runner on with nobody out. And the batter will be Luis Polonia, getting the start in left field tonight. 3 for 14 since coming over to the Braves. He was hitting .261 with the Yankees. You look at the makeup of this Braves ball club that had opened up the big lead in the National League East, and all the changes John Schuerholz was able to make in the last couple of weeks, adding Polonia and Devereaux to replace Mike Kelly and Jose Oliva. Eddie Perez added to the roster today, giving the Braves a third catcher. And what that enables you to do is use Charlie O'Brien or Javi Lopez as a pinch hitter, because you've got a guy that can come in defensively and catch for a couple of innings if anything happens to your starting catcher. The pitching staff reduced from 11 pitchers to 10 pitchers, and an extra left-hander, Terrell Wade, added out there. So a lot of changes as the fine-tuning for postseason continued right up to the last day. 0-1 on Polonia. Want to wish Matt Murray well. Didn't have much of a chance to show what he could do here in Atlanta, but he's got to be delighted, if he was going to be traded anywhere, to be going back home. Nothing in 1 on Polonia. Justice at first, nobody out. Squaring and taking. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over to first, Justice back. The 3 hits that Polonia has picked up for the Braves have come off, 2 off Tom Henke, 1 off Mike Henneman. 2 of the premier relief pitchers in baseball. A couple of guys he was familiar with, having seen them in the American League. Now the 1-1 bouncing ball. Drabek has it. Chance for two here. Bad throw. They're only going to get the one, if that. And Gutierrez saved Drabek there. It could have been a double play. It also could have been a throwing error into center field. Gutierrez made a good save to get the out. Polonia becomes the runner at first.
You look at it again. He really aims this ball instead of just throwing it. He makes a good play. Look at him. Sort of sidearm. You could see him drop to his knees in agony, but Gutierrez bailed him out. And did keep his foot on the bag and made sure with that kick. And we're lucky Justice didn't get hurt the way he slid in there. Looked like he was undecided as to what to do.
Polonia now at first with one out for Charlie O'Brien. One ball, no strikes.
You could see him. He tried to change his mind. Boy, that's.
You see more players get hurt on that little in-between move when they can't decide whether to slide or go in standing.
Bobby Thompson comes to mind.
Pedro Guerrero in spring training a few years back against the Braves. High in the air, right side of the infield. Biggio can't find it. Now Gutierrez is going to have to bail him out. Craig Biggio lost that ball, and Gutierrez had to come over and save Drabek again. Two down.
It's a little hazy here. He's screaming for help. Where is it? Help! Please don't hit me in the head.
Two men gone. That'll bring up Rafael Belliard. In at shortstop again tonight. Talked with Jeff Blauser. He's coming along but slowly. Between the finger injury and the knee injury, he's had a tough go of it lately. So Belliard's going to get the majority of the playing time for now. We're tied at one thanks to the Fred McGriff home run. Two men out. Polonia the runner at first. That was close.
Pacarat Corrales is pleading for a balk but getting absolutely nowhere.
Polonia, a good base stealer. He had 55 stolen bases back in 1993. 280 in his career. There he goes. Pitch to Belliard, popped off foul. Out of play. Polonia had stolen 10 with the Yankees this year before the trade. Oh, and 1 the count on Belliard. Runner goes again. The pitch is low and outside. The throw by Borders will be late. Stolen base for Luis Polonia. That's one of the reasons the Braves went out and acquired him. They felt they could use some added team speed, and Polonia certainly provides him that. That's his first stolen base with Atlanta.
A good throw might have him here. But he one-hops it down here, and when the glove went up, that allowed Polonia to get the hand in.
The count on Belliard, 1 ball, 1 strike. Borders making a good save on that pitch. 2-1 now to Belliard. Here's There's the 2-1 on the way. Outside corner. Count even 2-2. Now the 2-2 on the way, and it's fouled off to the right by Raphael. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves magic number down to 16 as they move closer and closer to clinching the Eastern Division. Again, the 2-2 pitch on the way. Out towards second. Biggio on to first in time, and that's it for Atlanta in the bottom of the second. But a Fred McGriff home run has tied things. We go to the third. Houston 1, Atlanta 1. We go to the top of the third, all tied up 1-1. Pete Van Wern, Skip Carey with you from Atlanta. Very comfortable night here at the ballpark. And it'll be pitcher Doug Drabek leading off here against Greg Maddux. First pitch swinging, lines one into left center field for a base hit. Greg Maddux does not make many bad pitches in the course of a season, much less in the course of a game, but I bet he'd like that one back. He kind of hung one there for Drabek. That'll bring up Brian Hunter. He had an infield hit, came around to score the Houston run. High fastball by Hunter 0-1. Bad news for the Seattle Mariners tonight. Randy Johnson, scheduled to start the game against the Boston Red Sox, had trouble loosening up in the bullpen. Had to be scratched from that start. Hunter squaring, pulled back. The pitch was outside. 1-1. The Mariners only a half game back in the wild card race. They can ill afford to lose their pitching ace. One and two now on Hunter. Drabek at first. They don't expect him to be running. They're not holding him. But you never know. The way Terry Collins was talking before the game tonight about pulling out all the stops against Greg Maddux, he could be.
Pete, we've been asked to remind the fans that the actual uniform jerseys the Braves are wearing during tonight's game will be autographed and available at the Braves Foundation Day silent auctions Saturday, September 2nd.
Off the end of the bat, slowly towards second. Lemke tags Drabek on to first to complete the double play. Heads up play by Mark Lemke, and a little base running inexperience demonstrated there by Doug Drabek. Ran right into it. 2 outs.
I don't know if Lemke tagged him or whether they just said he ran out of the baseline. I think Bruce Fremming's call, yeah, he ran out of the baseline is the call, but it is a double play. Anyway, that auction is from 10 to 5 at the Castlegate Hotel located at I-75 and Howell Mill Road in Atlanta, and the proceeds from the Foundation Day activities benefit the Braves Foundation. The uniforms will doubtless be washed between now and Saturday, so don't worry about that.
2 gone, bases empty, and the batter will be Milt Thompson. Showing bunt, taking outside, ball 1. Thompson thrown out, pitcher to first. Back in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike. I wish we had a picture of Milt Thompson when he first came up to Atlanta back in the, well, I guess it was around the early 80s for his first spring training with Atlanta. Skinny little kid from Double-A, but he didn't weigh more than 160 pounds.
Yeah.
Look at him now.
He's really been on the
He
Nautilus.
is put together. 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Fastball caught the inside corner, caught Thompson looking. And that's all for Houston in the third. We go to the bottom half of inning 3, all tied at 1. We are tied 1-1 going to the bottom of the third. Pitcher Greg Maddux will lead off against Doug Drabek. Final game of the 3-game set with Houston. The Cubs move in for the weekend tomorrow. Bottom of the third. Once again, here's Skip.
Okay, Pete, thanks very much. Drabek a little tardy getting to the mound as he was on the bases in the inning. So he's completing his warm-up tosses now. Maddux hitting 138 for the year. Maddux, Grissom, and Lemke will be the first 3 for Atlanta in the third. It's been what you would expect. Pretty good pitching duel to this point, though it's still early. We're in the bottom half of the third inning. Drabek about ready to go. The White Sox hammered Detroit today 9-0 the final score. There's a strike to start the inning. 0-1. Nobody on or out. Every time I see Doug Drabek, especially in this ballpark, I think of that gallant game he pitched when the Braves won, beat the Pirates.
Game 7 of the '92 National League Championship Series.
Cabrera and Breen, but Drabek for 8 innings with very little rest was absolutely magnificent. Sharply hit. Biggio ranges to his left though and guns him down, 1 away. So Maddux is retired. And Grissom, the batter, fly to center his first time. Cubs in over the weekend, then the Cardinals come to call, then we go away to Florida. That suspended game's going to be fun.
I want to thank you for bringing in your score sheet from that game. I was doing a basketball game at the time, and now I know what was going on.
Well, I thank you for the libation that was the fee. The amazing thing is you only had to ask me about my handwriting once. I was very proud of myself. Outside to Grissom, 1 ball, no strikes. The interesting part about that game, in case you've forgotten, the Braves have Mark Lemke at third base with nobody out in the 9th inning in a tie game. 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0. If they get him home, Mark Wohlers is not available. He was used earlier in that game, along with Steve Avery, Brad Woodall, and Mike Stanton. So we'll have plenty of pitchers to choose from. There's a strike right through there, 3-1. One out, nobody aboard. Hot shot, but right out the shortstop. Gutierrez almost got knocked over by that ball, but he throws him out, 2 away. Marquise continues to not only struggle, but to hit in bad luck. When he hits the ball hard, it's right at somebody. And Lemke will be the batter.
You mentioned Brad Woodall. People may wonder whatever happened to him. He was the top prospect among pitchers in the organization last year. Came up and pitched well and started out the year with the Braves this year. Well, he went back to Richmond and he had problems with his foot all year, and they finally had him undergo foot surgery back in about July, and I don't think he's pitched since then. So
I think he had. I might be wrong, but I think
did he come back?
Just come back about a week ago.
He'll no doubt go to winter ball or the instructional league or something to get some innings in and be with the Braves in spring training next year.
Lemke hits it pretty well, but Brian Hunter can maneuver, and he's out there and makes the catch. And the inning comes quickly to a close at the end of 3. We're still tied 1-1. Craig Biggio is going to lead things off here in the 4th inning.
Leads the club in home runs. Changing his swing a little bit after Jeff Bagwell went down. They dropped him to the number 3 spot on the batting order. And he said he felt he had to supply a little more power.
Nice anecdote. Biggio leads off the 4th. Biggio, May, and Magadan the first 3. He bounced to short his first time. And Maddux goes to work. Right through there, nothing in 1. 1-1 our score in the 4th. Right back where it came from. He can't get it, but Lemke does. 1 out. Derek May, the batter, he singled and drove in the run back in the 1st inning. Joe and I were talking last night. Hard to believe this guy has been in the minor leagues and been around, and he's a pretty good player.
It is hard to believe.
That should be easy. 2 pitches. 2 down. Dave Magadan, the batter. Tom Glavine and Jim Bullinger tomorrow.
We mentioned you could have no better pitcher than Greg Maddux to try to end a little mini losing streak. He did the same thing in St. Louis. Look at the second halves Greg Maddux has put together since '92. 33-7 with a 178 earned run average after the All-Star break the last 4 years.
It's hard to believe he was even better last year than he is this year. Second half. There's one of the time. One of the things that cracks me up about Maddux, when the ball is hurled toward the plate. We'll talk about it later. As Chipper makes a fine play and throws him out. 1-2-3, nothing doing. That didn't take long. Bottom of the 4th, still tied 1-1.
We are tied at 1 going to the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's kickoff weekend in the NFL, and TNT will be there. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with the Coors Light Pro Football tonight. And then at 8 p.m., the Buffalo Bills take on the Denver Broncos. Vern Lundquist and Pat Hayden will have the call this Sunday night. The NFL on TNT.
Chipper Jones leads off the Atlanta half of the 4th inning. Jones flied to center his first time. It's Jones, McGriff, and Justice. So a good inning to get something going here against Doug Drabek. Goes into the wind and cutting it loose. Foul back. He had a good cut. 0-1. I would guess 6,000 or 7,000 more fans here tonight than the first 2 nights, and I would attribute that, if I'm correct, just to the fact that Greg Maddux is pitching the game. People have figured out.
And you can tell him that, and he never believes you.
Yeah. But you're watching one of the best ever when you watch him.
He begged off starting the All-Star game partially because he had a slight groin pull, but also because he said the fans don't want to see me. They want to see Hideo Nomo.
Well, he's wrong.
He is the most, I don't even know what the word is, the most low-key, unassuming superstar I have ever seen in any sport.
It's high enough, but I don't think it's far enough. No Thompson back there. 1 out. And we were talking right before the last inning came to a close. The quietest time at a ballpark is just when the pitch is being delivered, and as the ball leaves Maddux' hands, every now and then you can hear him say "Rackafret." I mean, just as the ball leaves his hands, because he knows something was wrong with that pitch already. I've never heard another pitcher.
Not at that stage.
No.
Sometimes after the pitch is made or after the batter hits it out of the ballpark, or if he gets away with one and it's fouled back, you might hear him react. But no, you're right. He does only occasionally. Only makes a few pitches like that in a game as soon as he releases it.
And that's the other thing about him. He expects so much of himself.
Funny, when the Braves signed him, my dad called me and said, "You just got the best pitcher in the National League." And I said to myself, "That's about strong," but he was right. Two balls and a strike. 1-1 our score. Astros have 3 hits, Braves have 1, and that hit was by this guy. A line drive home run. Three and 1. David Justice waits on deck. Well, you know, Fred has the green light here the way he hits Drabek. He didn't look good on that one. That wild card race in the American League, Texas by a half game over Kansas City, Milwaukee, and Seattle. Oakland, New York going into the day's play 2.5 out. Baltimore 4.5. Amazing. Missed outside. McGriff is aboard with 1 out. Drabek issues his second pass of the game.
You mentioned the Rangers leading that wild card race right now. They made a move today to try to bolster their ball club down the stretch. They picked up outfielder Candy Maldonado from the Toronto Blue Jays for a player to be named later.
Philadelphia won their game today to move to within a half game. Along with Houston, Colorado, and Los Angeles tied for the lead in the National League. Sid Fernandez now 6-1 with the Phillies. Is that 2 3-run homers tonight for Paul O'Neill?
It is. 7-0 Yankees.
They're giving the Angels fits. Inside to Justice. 1 ball, no strikes. Luis Polonia waits on deck. Runner at first, 1 out. Fast strike over the outside corner, evens it up. 1-1 the count. McGriff standing on the bag, and the throw almost wound up down in the right field corner. A ball and a strike, the count. Cubs come to town over the weekend, then the Cardinals, then we go to Florida. And to Denver and to Cincinnati. He hit that baby off his foot. That one hurt.
He always wears that guard over the inner part of his leg and his ankle. That one missed it. Got him right above it.
Jeff Porter out to have a look at David Justice. David says, "Yeah, it hurts, but I'm ready. Let's go." Runner at first, 1 down. Justice has 4 home runs in his career against Drabek, as now does McGriff. David 10 out of 32 against him. Snap throw to first. McGriff went diving back head first. Only trouble was he sort of stopped in his dive, but he got his hand in okay. Mike Jacobs, who we got in that deal, attends East Carolina University.
And the other kid, Mark Lewis from Decatur, Alabama. So a couple of guys from this area. Equally happy as Matt Murray was going back up to the Boston area.
Justice fouls another one away. Still 2-2. David takes a look at his third base coach, Jimmy Williams. The 2-2 pitch. McGriff edges away. Here it is. Swung, line fouled on the left side. Still 2-2. Three hits for the Astros, one for the Braves. Drabek thinks McGriff's a little faster than he really is. The 2-2 pitch is launched. And that one will reach the seats. Still 2-2. Well, if this deal goes down, I guess you and Don and Joe and I'll be the time men of the year, huh?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Look down in Ted's box again tonight. There's nobody reading time and nobody reading life. I don't know if that means anything or not. The 2-2 pitch. Double play ball. Whoa, funny hop, but they still get 4-6. He beat the Rap at first. They took it too easy. That's what you love about Justice. He runs hard all the time. That looked like a cinch double play ball, and he beat the Rap at first.
Well, let's see what happened here. A little bit of a high hop for Biggio, and Fred McGriff a little bit out of the baseline, but not far enough where it would be called by the umpires. But he went right after Gutierrez.
And he almost didn't get down in time, which is a little dangerous. So Luis Polonia is the batter. He hit into a force play himself his first time, then stole a base. Pop foul back and out of play. Now that was a bad looking cigar. 0-1 the count. There goes the runner inside the throw by Borders. Got him and the inning is over. Good play by Gutierrez coming up with the throw on the short hop there. Tagging the sliding Justice. No hits, no runs, no errors. Nobody left at the end of 4. Your score 1-1.
Atlanta Braves baseball brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. Head for the mountains of Bush.
We go to the 5th inning. Craig Shipley leads it off. Greg Maddux hooked up with Doug Drabek in a 1-1 pitcher's duel through 4. And the first pitch to Shipley is a strike, as is so often the case when Maddux is on the hill. 0-1 the count. Down and in. It's even now at 1-1. Shipley, Gutierrez, and Borders the first 3 on the 5th for Houston. A little tapper back to the mound. Maddux has it. Guns him down, 1 away.
He gets so many plays hit right back to him, or if not right at him, just to the left or right of him where the second baseman or shortstop make a play. It's almost as if he's trying to get hitters to hit the ball back to him.
He has gotten only one fly ball out tonight, one little looping line drive back to the mound. Everything else has been on the ground, and he's got a strikeout.
And 11 of the 13 outs in this game have either involved him, the shortstop, or the second baseman.
Gutierrez grounded to second his first time. And does so again. 2 out.
It's uncanny. Another category that Maddux leads the league in, assists by pitchers.
Sid Fernandez upped his record to 6-1 there. Montreal hung on to beat and hurt the Padres. Might have had a rain delay in Florida. They started late. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati 1-1. Benito Santiago has a home run in that game. Another ground ball to second. It is uncanny. And the inning is over. 1-2-3, nothing doing. Don and Joe will join you now. We head for radio at the end of 4 1/2. We're tied 1-1.
Joe and Don with you as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and just exactly what you would expect, I think, from Doug Drabek and Greg Maddux. A 1-1 tie thus far.
Well, you have two guys who aren't going to pop your eyes out with 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. They don't have double snapping yellowhammer curveballs and Bob Gibson sliders, but they know how to pitch. Like Maddux knows how to make the pitches to use his infielders. Drabek probably wishes he had one pitch back. Other than that, this has been one. If you don't like this, then you don't like pitching.
Certainly not the Doug Drabek the Florida Marlins saw his last start, where he gave up 6 runs in the first and was gone by the 5th. But he has pitched well against Atlanta this year. In 3 games, he is 1-0. He'll face Polonia, who was at the plate when Justice was thrown out trying to steal. O'Brien and then Belliard. Polonia, as he did his first time up, shows bunt to draw in the infield. David Justice took that shot off the inside of his right knee his last at bat, so he's getting a little ice on it. And Dave Pursley. Polonia sends one into the gap in left center, and May can't get it. And watch Polonia go. Big turn, and he'll hold it second with a leadoff double. And Polonia, after a slow start with Atlanta that you can attribute to lack of work with the Yankees, is suddenly swinging a hot bat.
Well, Bobby Cox said he wanted to get him some at bats, and he's hitting over 300 against righties. Gets one up out over the plate. This is what he does best. Drive that ball in the gap, and I think that ball kind of fooled Derek May, because the angle on it, you can see at the last minute he cut back toward the warning track, and I don't think he thought he was going to carry that far. Little guy's got some pop. He may not hit you a lot of homers, but he can hit it in the gap.
And already his 3rd double as a Brave among his 4 hits. Charlie O'Brien will try to get him over to third base. He popped to second his first time up. Takes one inside for ball 1. Charlie wants something probably middle of the plate in, that maybe he can take a little inside out stroke on and hit to the right side. Magadan has cheated in a little bit at first base, and that's exactly what Charlie does. Biggio's got it, but Polonia's at third. Nice job, Charlie O'Brien. Crowd appreciates it. Runner at third, and one out for Belliard.
And watch the Braves dugout too. See, they will treat him the same way as if he'd hit a 2-run homer. That's the difference between a winning ball club and a ball club that is not going to win. He did his job. Gene Mock used to say there are good outs and there are bad outs, and that is a good out. You advance the guy to third.
Gave himself up, and the infield will play in with Belliard up there. Rafael grounded out his first time up. But you saw the graphic earlier here on TBS about Rafael hitting with men in scoring position. His average up over 300 in that situation. Drabek will work from the stretch. 1-0.
Belliard hits a lot of choppers too, a lot of balls off the front of the plate in that area, so it's an advantage for him for the infield to be in. Astros field against Maddux, they have to bring him in.
This might be one of those situations too, Don, where Jimmy Williams has told Polonia, you go on contact no matter where the ball's hit. Get a walking lead, and as long as Wood hits ball, you're gone. Drabek steps off as Belliard wants the signs once more.
Somebody missed a sign, and Jimmy Williams was trying to get his attention. Pat Corrales, the first base coach, is a guy who stopped everything and called timeout.
Certainly Belliard a threat for the squeeze too. He's swinging and lines it to right. Is it deep enough? Milt Thompson's got to play. Polonia is going to try to score. Here comes the throw. He missed the plate. And now the tag, and now they get him. That's all Polonia could do, folks. When you miss the plate and then try to go back, you're going to be a dead duck anyway. His best chance was to get up and walk away, but Borders knew he missed it, and he went back and tagged him. Good play by Milt Thompson and the Astros, and the Braves come up empty. They get a leadoff double, but you can't get a run across, and we go to the 6th, still tied. We go to the top half of the 6th inning here in Atlanta. Doug Drabek will lead it off, then back to the top of the order, and Brian Hunter and Milt Thompson. Maddux delivers a strike. Greg gave up a run in the first inning on an infield hit. Brian Hunter worked his way around to third, scored on a 2-out hit by Derek May. Lemke has to hurry and got him. Nice play. Mark Lemke's been a busy man.
As we look at our Budweiser game summary, May a 2-out RBI single. McGriff hit his home run. Maddux is having himself an exceptional night. Strikeouts are down, but he has had 13 ground ball outs, and there have only been 4 balls hit out of the infield all night long. And that, if you want the Budweiser summary in a nutshell, it's been pitching, pitching, and more pitching for both of them.
Last play, a good bit of defense by the Astros too.
Here's that play. Watch Borders try to kick him off the plate. Now, key man in this is the umpire. Right there, Angel Hernandez has made no sign. Borders sees that, tags him out.
Brian Hunter takes a strike.
So that's our lesson tonight. If you got kids and you're playing and you don't see a call, you know the play isn't completed. So either go back and tag it or go tag him out.
And when Polonia turned around and saw Borders still blocking the plate and about to come after him, he knew there was no point in trying to go back.
All you can do is try to win an Academy Award.
That's
and just
right.
Keep heading for the dugout.
A ball and 2 strikes to Brian Hunter, who bounced one off the plate for a base hit his first time up. And that truly was Polonia's only chance to get to the plate, was to try to go around Borders in the way he did. He couldn't run over him. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts for Maddux tonight.
First time up, Maddux got him a fastball up in the strike zone. Hunter promptly singled on it. He hasn't seen anything above the belt since. But how many times have we been told? Eddie Taubensee was the guy who said it. If you get hit off Maddux, don't ever expect to see that pitch again.
Right. He's got an amazing stat working this year. In the innings he gives up runs. Milt Thompson has an amazing stat against Greg Maddux. That's a .349 career average against him, and he picks up his first hit of the night against Maddux. Greg gave up a run in the first inning tonight. That's the 9th run he's allowed in the first inning this year of his 37 runs allowed. But in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning combined, in his first 22 starts, he's allowed but 1 run all year long in those 3 innings.
Just takes him an inning to get on track.
Really takes him a long time to find that release point, doesn't it? Biggio takes a strike. He's been behind in the count both times up earlier. He's 0 for 2. And now 0-1 here in this at bat. Craig 1 for 12 in the series.
So Maddux, let me get this right. Every 23 starts, he gives up a run in the second, third, or fourth?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about the average.
I got it. And every 3 starts, he gives up 1 in the first.
Mm-hmm. The 0-1 pitch. Right across the corner, 0-2. Terry Collins told his ball club before the ball game, be ready for anything tonight. You might see some signs in weird circumstances, weird situations, but we're going to try to be somewhat unconventional tonight in our effort to beat Greg Maddux, and they were running early in the ball game. 0-2 to Biggio. Pitch out, but Thompson not running. Milt 3 out of 4 in stolen bases this year.
Well, Maddux has a lifetime in about 27 or 28 starts, a lifetime earned run average of right at 2. So the conventional way obviously hasn't worked. It's one of those situations where they have absolutely nothing to lose by trying some weird backwards, not by the book stuff.
Yeah, I agree. There goes Thompson. Pitch swung on, line down the left field line, and because he's running, Thompson will probably score. Polonia over to get it. He had him played way around towards center field. And an RBI double by Craig Biggio on a 1-2 count puts the Astros on top. And for Biggio, that's his 25th double of the year, and it ties his career high 64 RBIs.
And there's Terry Collins' philosophy paying off. Chipper Jones a long way off the line. They're not expecting him to pull Maddux, but with Milt Thompson on the move, if he is not on the move, they're at second and third. On the move, it gives him enough of a jump that he's able to score, so he is pulling out all stops, and it got him the second run of the game.
Derek May drove in a run in the first inning with a broken bat single up the middle. So a 2-out rally for the Astros here in the 6th.
And Milt would like to be excused from running tomorrow.
That's down the line. Fair ball, backhanded by McGriff. A good feed to Maddux, and the inning comes to an end. But the Astros take the lead, 1 run on 2 hits. They strand a runner, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-1 Houston.
Do not try this at home. Maddux, one of the things that makes him great is what he expects of himself and his obvious high expectations, and in his mind he made a pitch that he shouldn't have made, and it cost him a run. He's just venting some frustration.
Not a happy camper. Made a mistake that cost him a run. He'll get a chance to help himself out here as he leads things off for the Braves in the 6th inning. Grounded to second his first time up. But you got to have a little of that in you if you're going to be successful at this level.
And if you're going to be great, you have to have a lot of that in you.
And he's going for the downs on the first pitch and popped it up. Magadan's got a play and makes the catch on the rail. 1 out.
See, I think sometimes we get caught up with guys who show a lot of it but don't have a lot of it inside. Maddux is a guy who has a lot of it inside and shows very little of it. And I think sometimes we judge a player's competitive nature by the show he puts on for us rather than by knowing the guy and know what really makes him tick.
Yeah, and he doesn't do it on the field. You don't see him do that between the white lines.
Never loses control of the game.
Marquise Grissom 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for his last 13, but hit the ball hard his last time up. Gutierrez made a nice play on him at shortstop. I'm not sure, but it appears at least at first blush that Marquise has opened his stance up a little bit tonight. In the dirt, it's 2-0.
Looks like 2 moves, Joe. I think he's opened his stance up, but it also looks like he's a little bit further back in the batter's box than he has been with a guy like Drabek, who works the bottom half of the strike zone. Again, he's giving Drabek a little more room to work with by being way back.
2-0 pitch. Hit hard again to Gutierrez on 2 hops. Easier play for him this time, and he's got it 2 away. One thing that open stance will create, though, is for the hitter, he has to step into the plate a little more. He's got to bring his body back to the plate some, and Maybe he and Clarence Jones have figured out or decided that maybe he was pulling away from the ball a little bit, and that open stance will help correct that.
A lot of hitting instructors in baseball with a lot higher profile than Clarence Jones. Drabek probably thinking, let's get this month of August over with.
Absolutely. Lemke's 0 for 2.
Clarence Jones is one of those guys, if I can get back to him for a second, Clarence is one of those guys that wants to be good at it, not necessarily well known for doing it, and his hitters appreciate him. That's really all that counts if you're a good hitting coach.
It's confidence. If you've got a confidence in your hitting instructor to be able to look at you one day when you're going good and look at you one day when you're not going good and be able to tell the difference, that's what you're hoping for, and Clarence is good at that. (3-0) to Mark Lemke. Drabek was 4-0 in July, 0-2 in August in 4 starts, and his ERA in August 6.5. Lemke not swinging, and it's 3-1. Chipper Jones would be next. That's popped up, playable for Shipley. In foul territory, he's got it, and the Braves are gone in order in the 6th inning. Good inning for Drabek. We head to the 7th, and Houston still on top, 2-1. We go to the 7th here in Atlanta. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Who was the first Astro to hit a home run in the Astrodome and set off that wild scoreboard they used to have there? We'll give you the answer in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
I think I know that one. I think I know. That's the first one I think I've gotten in 2 years, but I think I know
He's in the ballpark. We'll give you a hint.
2-1 to score. Maggott and Shipley and Gutierrez, first 3 due up. Top of the 7th inning. Maddux working on a 5-hitter. First one is there, 0-1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Astros. They played airless ball. A run on 2 hits for the Braves. Drabek has matched Maddux pitch for pitch. Down and in, 1-1. Maggott has modeled a few uniforms. I quite frankly really don't understand it. He can play a couple of positions, and he's a good hitter. To Lemke. Tricky hop. Mark stays with it. Another ground ball out. Marcus had a busy night. Eight assists. Is that what you have for Mark Lemke?
Let me see here. Yes, I do. Chipper Jones would be next. That's popped up, playable for Shipley. In foul territory, he's got it, and the Braves are gone in order in the 6th inning. Good inning for Drabek. We head to the 7th, and Houston still on top, 2-1. We go to the 7th here in Atlanta. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Who was the first Astro to hit a home run in the Astrodome and set off that wild scoreboard they used to have there? We'll give you the answer in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
I think I know that one. I think I know. That's the first one I think I've gotten in 2 years, but I think I know
He's in the ballpark. We'll give you a hint.
2-1 to score. Maggott and Shipley and Gutierrez, first 3 due up. Top of the 7th inning. Maddux working on a 5-hitter. First one is there, 0-1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Astros. They played airless ball. A run on 2 hits for the Braves. Drabek has matched Maddux pitch for pitch. Down and in, 1-1. Maggott has modeled a few uniforms. I quite frankly really don't understand it. He can play a couple of positions, and he's a good hitter. To Lemke. Tricky hop. Mark stays with it. Another ground ball out. Marcus had a busy night. Eight assists. Is that what you have for Mark Lemke?
Let me see here. Yes, I do. And 1 put out.
There's Shipley. He is flied to right. He's grounded back to Maddux. Chopper toward Belliard. Close, not in time. That last big hop. And it looked like to me Rafael was caught in no man's land. He couldn't come in and he couldn't back up. A base hit.
I tell you, the Astros are hitting some worm burners out there in front of the plate. Big high bouncers. Several of them tonight. A couple of them have resulted in base hits. Well, they water that area right out in front of home plate a lot before the ball game. And as the game goes on and it dries up, it gets pretty hard out there in front of the plate.
Actually, what they're doing is making adobe brick right there in front. There goes the runner. Gutierrez fouls it away. Boy, there's what you were talking about. He is pulling out all the stops.
1-run lead for the Astros, not enough in the eyes of Terry Collins. He wants some more, and he's going to, with the lead now, he's really lessened the risk. Put the pressure on the Braves.
No balls and a strike to Gutierrez. He is twice grounded to Lemke at second. Probably if the runner's on the move, Lemke would stay home. Belliard would cover. That's what they tried. That's what they did, but he hits it to McGriff. Took a shot toward the right side. Nice play by Fred. 3 unassisted. Shipley moves up 90 feet.
What Terry Collins was talking about before the ballgame with me, Don, had to do with the way Maddux has pitched against them. He said that he beat us last year 1-0 in a game where he gave up like 12 hits or something, but he kept throwing double play balls, and then he comes into the Astrodome this year and throws a 1-hitter at us and beats us when Bagwell got the only hit on a home run. He said, so we've just got to figure out some different way to beat him. We've got to throw a few different angles at him tonight.
Braves are going to take the bat out of Pat Border's hands. He is grounded to short and grounded to second. He'll draw the intentional walk. That'll be the first base on ball issued by Maddux tonight. And for Greg, it'll only be the 20th walk all year. It'll be his 3rd intentional walk, right?
Yeah, that's the first one I can remember that's an intentional pass by him. Obviously because he's rarely in very much trouble.
That means that Drabek will bat with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Drabek single the first time up, grounded to second his other time, and he's hitting up over 200. He is not a lay down automatic out.
No, and right now it's not so much what the Astros are doing offensively, it's what the Braves aren't doing offensively. The Braves have been shut down by Astros pitching since the 9th inning of game 1 that went 13. They've only scored 1 run in their last 19 innings.
Let's see what Maddux does on the first pitch. He misses upstairs 1-0.
Tells you a little bit about his professional attitude, also going up there trying to help himself.
Chucks up on the bat, tries just to make a compact swing. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's what he gets. A chopper to Lemke. Mark with his 9th assist. And Maddux pitches out of the jam. The Astros get a couple of base runners. They leave them stranded. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 left. 7th inning stretch time. The Astros lead it 2-1. Couple of this good crowd here tonight.
There's a couple of cuties. We check out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. The question tonight: who was the first Astro to hit a home run in the Astrodome? And it was none other than Jim Beecham. Came in the 2nd exhibition game ever played in the Astrodome. Mickey Mantle hit the first ever homer there. And then the next day, Beach went deep and set off the scoreboard, and he said it was quite a sight. He hit it off of Dave McNally of the Baltimore Orioles.
Remember that scoreboard? We'd have the Longhorn steer go all the way across, and then a cowboy would rope it.
Had 6 guns going off and everything, fireworks.
I think I probably lit that scoreboard up more than Beach did. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Braves down by 1. Jones, McGriff, and Justice. And I think you probably are one of thousands that feel that way, young lady.
Yeah, and this 25-year-old does too, right here.
What 25? Lying doesn't become you.
Chipper's up.
Oh. First pitch swinging. Make that number into the tens of thousands. We're tied.
I think he got exactly what he was looking for first pitch. Looked like a fastball out over the plate. Great extension, and he launched it. '19th homer of the year. Fastball up and away. And off the scoreboard, no doubt about it.
2 solo homers. We're tied at 2. Still nobody out. Here's McGriff. He got the other one. He's been on base twice, a home run and a walk.
You and I were talking about Fred over there on radio about he seems to, his demeanor even changes against Drabek. Maybe because of his success, but he's going up there thinking Drabek can't do anything to get a ball by him. Fred usually is like, to me, he's like a counter puncher. You throw it and then I'll hit it where it's pitched a lot. But with Drabek, it's more like he's already thinking, I'm going to yank anything you throw up here. And he did his first time up.
Boy, it makes it kind of hard on a pitcher to make a good pitch on him then. If he's just looking for a ball to hit, it doesn't really matter where it is. He's going to go to it and he's going to drive it. Drabek nibbling with McGriff now, falls behind 3-0. Beers starts to crank it up. There's a look at the right-hander. Angel Hernandez says that's long enough. 3 balls, no strikes. Bet the farm if Fred gets one in the strike zone, he has a huge green light. 3-0. Lays off a tough pitch, draws the walk. That's a third one issued by Drabek. McGriff has 2 of them.
It's been a rough month for this ball club. You knew that they came into Atlanta on an 11-game losing streak, but beyond that they had lost 18 of their last 21, and it is reflected in the numbers of their starting pitchers. Drabek comes in with an ERA of just under 5, and he's not had an ERA over 4 since his rookie year with the Yankees back in '86.
Mel Stottlemyre, pitching coach, out. Again, Angel Hernandez will make the move out there. Partly, I'll bet you this is to give Veers a little more time to warm up, but I don't think they're ready to pull the plug on Drabek yet.
No, it's still a tie ball game, and maybe that's what Mel wanted to find out. Do you have anything left in the tank, especially to finish this inning?
A guy who has achieved the stature of Drabek, they will ask him. A guy who hasn't earned that will be told whether he has anything left. So Stottlemyre paying him the courtesy that he has earned. David Justice, a hitter, he's walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. Boy, he lays off a tough pitch. What Drabek is trying to do here is get a ground ball. Last time up, he got a grounder to second base off the bat of David Justice, but it was a little late in developing, and they couldn't turn the double play. To left field, off the glove of Shipley. That's going to be a base hit for Justice. I don't know, but what Shipley might not have been fooled by that. Thought it was hit harder than it was, and may have mistimed his jump.
You know, David's approach is a little different from that of Fred in that, remember his last time up, he was slashing some balls to left field, hitting them in the seats down the left field line, and lo and behold, here in the 7th inning, he goes the other way and gets a base hit as a result.
That'll put him at first. It'll put McGriff at second. Hit number 4 for the Braves. The Astros are looking for a bunt from a guy who can lay one down. Luis Polonia. Polonia's grounded into a fielder's choice. Tap back to Drabek and doubled. Got thrown out at the plate in the 5th inning.
A lot of options here too for Polonia if in fact he is bunting, and he is a good bunter. If the infield tries to take away the bunt, he's certainly capable of shortening up his swing and slapping the ball by him too. I'm talking about Shipley primarily at third base. Big hole on the left side.
Polonia moves up close to the plate. Medium depth in the batter's box. He's swinging. Hunter is there. So the Braves green light Polonia. He almost drops it into left center field, but a nice running catch by Hunter. 1 out. And now the double play, definitely a threat.
Well, Bobby rolled the dice. He's already got the game tied, and it didn't work. But the ball was stung, and you just can't guide it.
O'Brien has popped out and grounded to second. O'Brien popped to the shortstop, but he had to come over in front of Biggio back in the second inning because Biggio had lost the ball, couldn't find it. Fortunately for the Astros, Gutierrez alert and went over and got it. No balls and a strike.
This is one area that has plagued Doug Drabek this year. When he has gotten into trouble, he hasn't been able to avoid big innings because look at the average against him when he's got guys at second or third base.
1992 and 94, those are some very impressive numbers. No balls and a strike to O'Brien. Outside, 1-1.
This is one of those times where for a hitter things ought to even up. You know, you talk about how Charlie gave himself up his last time up, got the runner to third base. Well, after being such a good team guy, maybe it's time for him to get a lucky bounce or a good break and get a base hit and put the Braves on top.
Drabek's curveball bounces up there. Another good stop by Pat Borders. We've seen him make a few of those. 2 balls and 1 strike. Drabek now at the 90 pitch count. I wonder at what stage do the Astros start really worrying about his stamina and his strength and his sharpness. He's a guy that when he loses it, he's not going to lose foot off his fastball. He's going to lose location wise. That's more important than him being able to place the ball.
Yeah, and he's got to be accurate. Not a whole lot different than Greg Maddux in that respect.
Too much time and O'Brien's out. McGriff at second. He drew the walk after Jones's home run. Justice a single to left. Polonia's fly to center. 1 out, 2-1 to O'Brien. Good pitch. Speaking of Maddux, that is the backdoor fastball we've seen Maddux use so often. That'll make it 2-2. If the Houston Astros wanted to get together and make a Western movie, Drabek would have to be a marshal. He's got the look.
He's got the star on his cap too.
O'Brien stays alive. It's 2-2. We used to do that on the bus rides. You know, we'd be riding to the airport and say, if we made a movie, what would it be and who would play the roles? Let's come up with some interesting ones. Some we can't talk about.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Still 2-2. Shipley still in kind of close for O'Brien and a long way off the line. Nice stop by Borders. Full count, 3-2. Do you start McGriff and Justice?
That's a big chance, but why not? I mean, if they were behind, still behind by a run, you might play it safe, but you've got the game tied up now. Go for it. There's your on deck hitter, Belliard.
O'Brien, 28 strikeouts in 167 at bats.
And I think because Belliard's on deck, I don't think Drabek will give him anything good to hit here.
You're right. O'Brien chases a breaking ball outside. Still alive, still 3-2, and yes, they were on the move.
Pat Borders may have been keeping an eye on David Justice too. If the pitch is down and away, if it's anything off speed or a breaking ball, and O'Brien does swing and miss, they may be looking at Justice down at second to try to get him instead of McGriff.
O'Brien has only grounded into 7 double plays. That trails 3 or 4 other guys on the ball club.
Charlie's a fly ball hitter, though. He doesn't hit many ground balls. His swing is more tailored to fly balls, line drives. He's uppercutting a little bit.
This is not a bad move. The fans are getting a little restless because of all the meetings, but Borders and Drabek, and let's face it, it's not like Borders has worked with Drabek for a number of years. Borders just came over from Kansas City. I just want to make sure we're on the same page and who's covering, and he may have told Drabek to go tell him, hey, be alive if they're running. I may be coming to you at second.
That's right, and be alive too. Don't cheat too much over there at the beginning, because we may work him away here.
All right, meetings are over. 3 balls and 2 strikes again. McGriff away from second, Justice away from first. They're on the move, and O'Brien yanks it foul.
And they pitched him inside. They came in, and Charlie was able to fight it off. I think that's an advantage for O'Brien. If they pitch him middle of the plate in, that's a terrific advantage for him. And the reason is, number one, they're playing up the middle for 2, so there's a little more room on the left side. And with Fred moving, you know Shipley's going to be leaning a little bit toward third base and might open up that hole even a little more.
A new baseball for Drabek. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wheel play, but they didn't catch Fred. He didn't put a whole lot of effort into that one anyway. That's not one of the better ones, and Fred wasn't caught napping. What's the most important thing you want to do if you're a base runner here? Just make sure he pitches?
Absolutely. Don't get picked off in this situation.
All right, another 3-2 pitch for O'Brien. There they go. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. Tried to run a fastball in on Charlie O'Brien and hit him on the hand. O'Brien now. That's a 5th time Charlie's been hit with a pitch.
Let's hope it missed his right hand this time. Yeah, that got the elbow. That's better. Meaty part of his right forearm. He's been nursing a tender right hand where he got hit by a pitch on the last road trip.
So Belliard is not going to bat. Bobby Cox is going to play a trump card. He's going to go to the bench and bring up Dwight Smith. Drabek will not face Dwight Smith. There wasn't a left-hander throwing, but second trip to the mound by a member of the Astros hierarchy. So with the bases loaded, 1 out, Bobby Cox going to his bench. The Astros will move. They'll go to their bullpen, and we'll be back to fill in some blanks for you after we take a timeout. I think the Astros probably just thought that Drabek's tank had, the needle had gotten to E, and so they figured they're going to make a change because it's going to be a right-handed pitcher. Dave Veers facing Dwight Smith. For Veers, this will be appearance number 57. He's worked 82 innings. That's tops among national relievers, and his 56 appearances, that's got to put him in the 2nd spot. In his last 41 innings, he's only allowed 7 runs. His control has been exceptional. He's averaging about 2 walks every 9 innings.
Hard thrower, good sinker. Terry Collins, sitting there with his starting pitcher, has the utmost respect for Doug Drabek. They were together in Pittsburgh. Collins was bullpen coach for Jim Leyland and the Pirates when they were having their good years in the early 90s. He knows how good a pitcher his starter is.
I just reminded, and it's something we hadn't thought of. Remember, Swindell came on in relief the other night, so Drabek is coming back 1 day short.
That's right. That's
so
right.
all the more reason to monitor those pitches, and you can bet that they were doing that. Mel Stottlemyre. Here's Smith. He has been raking with men in scoring position. Fouls away the first one. No balls and a strike.
We've said before, the luxury of having Luis Polonia on the roster now is that Polonia is ideal for leading off in a pinch hitting role, and Bobby can save White for those spots where he's got situations like this with runners on base.
That is drilled to center field. Hunter is going to get it, but it's going to be deep enough. so that McGriff can cruise home. A sacrifice fly for Dwight Smith, and the Braves lead it 3-2.
This guy is hard to get the ball up high enough, Don, to get the ball that deep. David Justice homered off of him the other night in the 9th inning, and that was a rarity. And now Smith delivers a go-ahead blow that almost got over Hunter's head.
Justice made it to third. Charlie O'Brien still at first. 2 outs. And here's Greg Maddux.
It's been just about a year for Maddux for an RBI. So he's due.
Greg 8 out of 60. They shade him around toward the right field side. Thompson shallow in right field. Ground ball. Shipley's got it. He'll go to Magadan, and that'll take care of the Braves in the 7th. But they make the most of it. They come away with 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 big sacrifice fly. 7 in the books. 3-2 Braves.
We go to the 8th inning and take a look at the Delta scoreboard. Philadelphia blanks San Francisco 6-0. The bad news there, Sid Fernandez had to come out of the ball game with a stiff back for the Phillies. Montreal rallied, got a run in the 10th, beat the Padres 5-4. Barry and Fletcher homered for Montreal. Chicago at Florida, they have the lead there. Hernandez is homered, his 10th of the year. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Benito Santiago has hit his 9th. New York at Los Angeles a little bit later. Chicago shut out Detroit behind Alex Fernandez, his 9th win of the year. Toronto is at Cleveland. Ken Hill on the mound for the Tribe tonight. Boston has scored a run in the 7th to close the gap a little bit on Seattle, although Randy Johnson was scratched in his start for the Mariners. Baltimore has scored 4 in the 4th for the Orioles. McGuire is homered for Oakland. California and New York. Paul O'Neill show there tonight. He has hit 3 home runs, 2 3-run shots, and 1 solo shot. Milwaukee at Kansas City hooked up in another good ball game at Kauffman Stadium.
Top of the 8th inning, Hunter to lead it off. He is 1 out of 3. Takes strike 1. Defensive change. Mike Mordecai will come on to play shortstop. He'll bat in the 8th spot. 0-2 to Hunter. Hunter got a pitch up early in the ball game, like a leading off, got a base hit. He hasn't seen anything above knee high since then. And he'll make a U-turn right there. 1, 2, 3, back to the dugout. For Maddux, only his 3rd strikeout.
But watch him bow his neck here now that he's got the lead. Things are going to be a little more grim for the Astros getting anything good to hit. And that pitch maybe a little off the plate, but right at the target. And he got the benefit of the doubt from Angel Hernandez.
Thompson is 1 out of 3. He has scored a run, scored the 2nd run of the ball game, scored it on Biggio's double back in the 6th inning. They played a little hit and run. He's had success against Maddux. That base hit against Maddux, his 23rd in 66 at bats. 1-1 to count. Greg Maddux is working on another gem. The Braves in a 1-run ball game, and we certainly don't want to take anything away from that. That's the focal. But a couple of Braves moves tonight were made, in case you joined us late and didn't hear about it. 2-1 to Thompson.
Braves called up Eddie Perez from Richmond to be a backup catcher. Rod Nichols was outrighted back to AAA. There's Eddie. He just arrived on the scene.
2-1 pitch, slow roller. Mordecai will get his first chance, and it's a good one. 2 gone.
And in addition to that, Terrell Wade takes over a spot on the roster. There's Terrell, a left-handed pitcher. And the reason there is room for him is that the Braves traded Matt Murray to the Boston Red Sox for a couple of minor league players. Mike Jacobs, a right-handed pitcher, and Mark Lewis, an outfielder. And those 2 players also complete the deal for Mike Stanton.
Is there more news on the way? I don't think John's ordering a pizza. Here's Biggio, first pitch swinging, pops it back our way, 0-1.
The Red Sox have been busy. So have the Rangers tonight. The Red Sox have claimed outfielder Dwayne Hosey off waivers from the Royals. They've placed outfielder Chris James on the disabled list and Vaughn Eshelman on the DL. In addition to the deal that included Matt Murray, they have traded their minor league pitcher Chris Howard to the Rangers for Jack Voigt.
No balls and a strike to Biggio. A double and 2 ground outs. He's up to 291. There's a strike. 0-2. I believe that RBI for Biggio, giving him 64, ties a career high, right?
You're correct, sir.
We got the attendance. We'll give it to you in a minute. To right field. That's going to get back into the crowd. 31,274. No balls and 2 strikes.
Did you ever play pinball?
Yeah, not very well, but
Pinball
thank you for
machine?
asking.
Yeah. You know how when the ball is just about to go down the chute and you're about to lose it, you start hitting those flippers
Yeah.
and just going crazy trying to save it?
That's called panic flipping. isn't
Panic
it?
flipping. There's some teams in this deadline doing some panic flipping tonight, trying to get players.
Tough chance for Chipper Jones. Good play. Braves defense tonight, sparkling. Another 1-2-3 inning for Maddux. He has set down 4 in a row. Make that extra cheese and extra pepperoni. Middle of the 8th, 3-2 Braves. Bottom of the 8th inning. Not that that man right there needs it, but the Braves looking for a little insurance here. Top of the order, Marquise Grissom, a hitless night, 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a fly to center. Veer starting his 2nd inning work. Dropped strike 1 in there, 0-1. Activity in the Astros bullpen.
Looks like Dean Hartgraves.
No balls and 2 strikes. There he is. That's why I like his stuff.
Yeah, he was pretty effective a couple of nights ago in that extra inning game.
No balls and 2 strikes. Due up for the Astros in the 9th inning, May, Magadan, and Shipley. On the ground, Biggio to one knee. First one is gone in the Braves' half of the 8th inning.
Good out for Marquise. You're talking about good outs and bad outs. That was a good swing on an 0-2 pitch. Hit it right on the nose. He's hit the ball sharply 3 times tonight. Unfortunately for him, as problems continue, you can't decide which direction you're going to hit it, and he's hit it right at Biggio and Hernandez tonight, or excuse me, Gutierrez.
One out for Mark Lemke, a fly to left, a fly to center, and a pop to third. Ball 1 misses low. Talking about Marquise Grissom. A breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. Talking about Marquise Grissom, have you seen a year, or can you remember a year where a good hitter has had as many extremes as he has, like 0 for 14
No.
and then 9 for 10?
No, I haven't. I know that he works real hard. He's very conscientious about getting extra work. Bobby Cox was talking on the last road trip about how he's got to slow Marquise down. He takes so much hitting, he thinks it tires him out by the time the game starts.
2-2 to Lemke.
And every Braves fan I've talked to seems to bring up Marquise right away about how much they appreciate what he does in the outfield and what have the Braves got to do to get him started, what's wrong, and all these things. But the fact of the matter is, he saved so many runs in the outfield. It's not a major problem for him to be hitting a little under 250 right now, but certainly they'd like for him to get on base more, and so would he.
Full count to Mark Lemke. Too much time mark out of there. Well, they ought to create another category. You know, I've talked about this before, where your RBI total you ought to be able to put one in there every time you save a run. Lemke's gone. Veers picks up his first strikeout. He has come on and set down 4 in a row. There'll be 2 outs for Chipper Jones, 1 out of 3, his 19th homer of the year. You know, we were talking, I think when you and I were talking about it, we were talking about Bob Boone.
Right.
As a catcher. Gene Mock said he's an 85 RBI a year man. The guy kind of raised his eyebrows. A writer, and he said, yeah, he drives me in 40 and saves me 45. Every run he saves is one I don't have to score.
Very good point.
Chip, good cut, fouls it back, and it's 0-1.
That was a short, quick swing.
Does he have 2 swings?
He has had at different times this year, because since the second half, when he's raised his average about 30 points, it's been more of a line drive swing. But he's also got that launch one that's got a little more of an uppercut that he used last time up.
The hasta la bye-bye swing.
Yes, he does.
He's in a hole 0-2 now. Oh, Beers wanted to call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think the only difference for him is that he just tries to hit the ball out front a little more instead of a more inside out stroke.
Another close one, and it's 2-2. He is one of the most mature rookies I've ever been around. Beers shakes off 2 signs. Line down the right field line. That's a fair ball. That's going to be extra bases for Chipper Jones. He's going to try for 3. They're not going to get him. A 2-out triple for Chipper Jones. That's his 2nd triple of the year. A little insurance, 90 feet away, and a happy 4-year-old again this inning.
Don, I remember when he first came up a couple of years ago for a cup of coffee in September, the scouts were talking about how fast he is out of the box from the right side to first base. Well, everybody supposedly says that he has lost a step because of the knee injury, but I don't see it. He can still get around the sacks in a hurry.
Had the play in front of him for the first 180 feet, made his decision, kicked it up a notch at 2nd. And he stands at 3rd. That is probably going to force Beers out of the ballgame. Terry Collins out to the mound. Yes, he is. He's going to the bullpen, and we're going to take a timeout. Bottom of the 8th. Chipper Jones stands at 3rd with 2 outs. He just picked up his 2nd triple, the 5th hit of the night for the Braves. Terry Collins going to go to his bullpen. 3rd pitcher of the night. There's a look at him. Hartgraves is coming into his 33rd ball game. Dean has a 1-0 record, 34 innings, 22 strikeouts, 13 walks. The league only hitting .208 against him, and he has been nasty on left-handers.
And he worked a good 2 innings here on Tuesday night in that 13-inning contest. He retired all 6 batters he faced, including a strikeout, and he was brought in specifically to pitch to the left-handed part of the lineup. He got McGriff to fly out, Justice to ground out, struck out Plesko. So he did his job when he was asked to do it against the lefties, and he's going to have some more work cut out for him here with 2 outs.
I bet Hal Galima has some numbers as to how left-handers have done against him, and Hal, has he worn them out? They're only hitting .220, no home runs. That's why he's here. McGriff has been on all 3 times, a homer, a couple of walks. He has scored 2 of the 3. He's driven home 1 of them. Nice pitch. 0-1. Fred now up to 273, 21 homers, 78 RBIs. I have a feeling the month of September we're going to have 3 guys chasing 30 homers. McGriff, Justice, and Chipper Jones. Is going to be fun to watch. A little bit inside, 1-1.
Well, Fred's got even more incentive, I think, because of his career and having had so many seasons with 30 homers. 7 homers, 7 years as a matter of fact where he's done that, and he's going to be a free agent.
Right. Good fastball there. 1-2. Get those 3 guys hot and get a little friendly competition going in there.
That's great.
And it's not, you know, when people hear you talk about competition on a ball club, they might think, well, they're playing together. Why are they competing? But it's friendly competition. It makes you do better. Another one inside. It's 2-2.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's been going on for about 5 years in the Braves starting rotation, so why not?
And it makes everybody better. Jones at 3rd. McGriff at the batter's box. Justice wants a swing. He's on deck. McGriff lays off the breaking ball. That'll run it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And Fred's RBI total moving up now at 78 because he's 7 for his last 13 with men in scoring position. Hartgrave suddenly 3-2 count. He's got another lefty on deck. I doubt that he'll give in here.
He shakes off one, then another. Now we shall soon find out. 3-2 pitch on the way. Inside. Ball 4. So he walks McGriff. And that'll bring up David Justice. Justice has walked, hit into a fielder's choice, and singled. His average up to 264. Here's a guy that's had a pretty amazing year. You know, he missed 22 ball games. The season was shortened by 18, so that's take 40 away. At best, he's going to put in about a 120 game season, and yet he has a legitimate shot at 85, maybe 90 RBIs, maybe more, and a legitimate shot of a minimum of 25 homers. That's a heck of a year in a 162 game season.
Yeah, he said the other day that he had projected his season over 500 at bats, and his numbers that he has right now pretty much in keeping with other good seasons he has had, including 30 home run year.
They're not going to hold McGriff. Magadan just yelling out to his pitcher. So he'll play behind him. At the corners, 2 outs, Justice the hitter. Takes ball 1 down low. A right-hander throwing in the Astros bullpen, Greg McMurtry.
This inning similar to the top of the 7th when Maddux walked Borders. Braves were trying to hold the Astros to give the offense a chance to catch up. Obviously, they don't want the Braves to score anymore here.
That's line. They're going to score more. Chipper Jones will stroll home. McGriff to second. More clutch 2-out hitting. Justice has the RBI, and it's 4-2.
And Hartgraves, not the same success as 2 nights ago. And boy, is that a big run for Maddux to work with. Looked like he made a mistake with a breaking ball. David was fooled, but he still had enough time to adjust. Well, maybe not. Might have been a fastball away from him that he just went down out and got it. And one-handed it to right field. When his top end came off the bat, it looked like it was an off-speed pitch.
Bobby Cox is going to go to the bench. Mike Devereaux is going to come on. He'll pinch hit for Luis Polonia. And let's see if the counter moves are made, because he has McMurtry ready. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1 run in. The Braves up 4-2. Go talk to him about pitching to him. Borders has seen Devereaux. It's been his career with Toronto and Kansas City. That's what Mel Stottlemyre is telling you. He said something about off-speed pitches. Good off-speed hitter.
Devereaux trying real hard to see if he can read lips too.
That's why, have you noticed how more and more catchers and infielders come in and talk? They take their gloves and cover their mouth. Collins is going to come out. No, he wasn't. We wasted a whole lot of good stuff there. All he was doing was buying time for McMurtry to get ready.
Well, at least next time around, Hartgraves, after that schooling from Borders, he'll know how to pitch Devereaux if he ever gets a chance.
Again, the Astros are going to go to the bullpen. Greg McMurtry will be the new pitcher. Four to 2, and the Braves trying to get some more with 2 outs. Runners first and second. Mike Devereaux, the hitter. The Astros will go to their bullpen. 4th pitcher of the night, right-hander Craig McMurtry. He'll be making his 8th appearance, an 0-1 record, a hefty earned run average. 8 innings. He's walked 5. He struck out 2. The league hitting 400 against him, but 500 with men in scoring position. That can be hazardous to your health.
You got to admire the guy for sticking with it, trying to fight his way back to the big leagues. He's under a lot of pressure here with this ball club. Not so much thinking about the pressure to stay in the big leagues and his livelihood and all those things, because he's been here before, but more of the social things and the fact that his teammates objected to him being here, and he's trying real hard to warrant the promotion and pitch so that maybe he gains an ounce of respect from those guys by the way he pitches.
McGriff at second. Justice down at first. 1 run in, 2 outs. Devereaux the hitter. Devereaux 1 out of 5 since coming over here. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Takes ball 1.
You know, I think Kansas City has like 4 or 5 replacement players on their roster as they make their bid for the wild card chase.
Not a time for a soapbox, but I was very disappointed in a player. There's ball 2. According to quotes in USA Today. on the Dodgers, Brett Butler was saying that Bush was the kid called.
Mike Bush.
Mike Bush was called up, and he said that he basically hoped that he would get used to being ostracized, and his wife would. Let's play ball and keep families out of this. Here's a 2-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1.
Well, I thought the Dodger situation was different than a lot of organizations because they were using all their minor league kids. They didn't bring anybody from outside. They just promoted all their, basically their AAA and AA team up in case they were needed. I thought that was a lot different than some ball clubs.
2-1 to Devereaux. Could be a base hit. May coming in a hurry. Will play it on a hop. They're going to send McGriff. No throw. Mike Devereaux comes through in a pitch. Gets the RBI. Some breathing room for Maddux. It's 5-2.
How about that spot in the order tonight? Devereaux and Polonia, 2 hits, a stolen base, a double, an RBI. They try to run the sinker down and in, and Devereaux went down there and got it. Nice swing.
So he'll be at first. Justice moves to second. Still 2 outs. Here's Charlie O'Brien. O'Brien has popped to second with the shortstop there. So really, he's popped to short. He's grounded to second. He got hit by a pitch. In case you missed it earlier, you had to feel sorry for Biggio. He went up the chimney at second. Biggio lost it. He was standing there hopeless. But Gutierrez came over and got it. That bounces away from Borders. Justice is going to try and try safely. We'll see how they score it, but everybody moves up 90 feet.
Borders has been like a hockey goalie tonight. He's had a lot of blocks. That one just bounces a little bit too far away from him.
How big were these runs this inning? Well, if Maddux hadn't have gotten them, he would have taken a 3-2 lead into the 9th inning. But when Maddux gets 4 or more, he is 53-3 in his last 60 starts. Breaking ball strike to O'Brien, 1-2. That's pretty good there.
Yeah, he's a Cy Young winner. There you go.
It's the pitch to O'Brien, another one in the dirt. It's 2-2. That's a talent I did not see on his scouting report.
No, he is a real beauty.
Yeah, he'd really be good at that if he had a David Letterman gap in his teeth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inside, that'll run it full, 3-2. Mike Mordecai waits on deck. All this damage coming after the first 2 went quietly. Grissom grounded to second. Lemke struck out. Then a Jones double, a McGriff walk, a Justice single, a Mike Devereaux off the bench single. 2 runs in, still 2 standing out there. O'Brien stays alive. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Their 2-out damage has been awfully impressive this month, and really since the All-Star break. The way they've been driving in runs, even starting rallies after 2 were out.
Greg McMichael starting to crank it up. To left field, fair, foul, foul ball. Home run distance definitely, but about 10 feet foul. What were you saying earlier about O'Brien and inside pitches?
And the fact that he loves to turn on that ball inside, and he's due for a break. Nice catch by the ladies up there.
Another 3-2 pitch. That one bounces up there. That is going to load them up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row have reached base after 2 outs.
And this may have some bearing, don't you think, on whether or not Maddux finishes this ball game? I mean, it's a 3-run lead now for Atlanta, but just the time it has taken for this 2-out rally to develop. Bobby may decide just to bring in McMichael to wrap it up.
Got nothing to prove. He got you here with a chance to win. They've got the insurance. Here's Mordecai. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Remember, Belliard started. Smith pinch hit for him. Mordecai came on to play defense. First pitch swinging. Right side. That'll get back out into the crowd.
Braves are second in the National League, Hal tells me. in RBIs with 2 outs and men in scoring position. So that backs up what I was talking about. Incidentally, I talked to Jeff Blauser before the ball game. He and Dave Pursley, and Jeff had his knee drained again today and very sore, very tender. It's going to be a few days before he's back out there.
Upstairs, 1-1.
He says that, you know, I said, did you re-injure it on another dive at Chicago or here the other night? And he said, I don't know how it happened. And he said, I can't put my finger on exactly how and when it got hurt again.
There's a strike to Mordecai, 1-2. After you get an injury, though, unless it completely heals, it's so you can do it stepping out of a car or stepping off a curb. You just keep nagging it.
Well, the way he wants to play, it's hard to keep him on the bench.
But right now, there's no sense of urgency. Mordecai stays alive, 1-2, 14 up. Now's the time to start thinking about getting guys well.
Well, and if there's positives to come out of things like that, I would say it's that guys like Mordecai are going to get a few more at bats. You know, Mike has certainly produced when he's had opportunities, and he's got several extra base hits. What is this? His 42nd at bat right here.
Chopper to third. Shipley will make the put out, the force out. So the run does not score, but the Braves come up with a couple of nice insurance runs. They do it on 3 hits and leave the bases loaded. To the 9th inning, Maddux needs 3 outs to win it 5-2. Mike Devereaux will stay in and play left field. Braves up 5-2. Top of the 9th inning, Mark Wohlers just in case. May, Magadan, and Shipley. First 3 due up. Maddux trying to go 9. And this is outside, 1-0.
Complete games for this guy are incredible. Leading the National League with 8 complete games, 2 shutouts.
Here's strike 1 to May. Almost got hit with that.
Last 2 years, check this out. 18 complete games for Maddux. Only 1 team has more complete games than Maddux, and that's the Dodgers.
The 1-1 pitch to May. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See, you know, I hope, because we obviously are the station for the Atlanta Braves, but we're also international, so we try very hard to be fair. There's a strike and a strikeout, the 4th of the night. But there are only so many ways you can point out how great this guy has been for the last 4 years.
Well, each and every game we seem to find a little something different out about him. Like tonight, we didn't realize he could spit water between his teeth that well.
And that's impressive to me.
Yeah, it is. You know, each and every night, a little something different.
Here's the pitch to Magadan. Magadan is lined back to the pitcher, grounded to third, grounded to second. He's having another good year at 285. Did he go? Nope. 1-1.
Another thing about Maddux is his consistency. We talk a lot about the fact that he's leading the major leagues in ERA at 1.86. Well, check this out. Last time he was over 3 1/4 for a month was in 91.
Slow roller, Maddux, great play. Can he throw him out? Now, he can make plays like that and spit water through his teeth.
Yeah. I don't know there's anybody in the league can do that.
No. And at the same time, if you want it.
Well, you put those 2 things together with the fact that you can throw strikes at the knees on the black part of the plate, and you got yourself a pretty good pitcher.
He needs 1 more out for his 9th complete game, his 15th win. That is going to get 31,274 on their feet. Shipley, the hitter, 1 out of 3. Strike 1. Chopper to third. That's going to be foul. It's 0-2. Maddux 1 strike away from reducing the Braves' magic number to 15.
There's one thing about his cut fastball to the right-handers trying to go down and in tonight, Don, that maybe better than a lot of times this year is because of all those high choppers off the plate. A lot of movement tonight on that pitch.
Outside, 1-2.
It's more like a hard sinker tonight, right on the plate.
Just missed. 31,274 umpires disagree with Angel Hernandez. On the ground, this should do it. Lemke with another assist. Maddux gets number 15.
Needless to say, Greg Maddux, with his effort tonight, winning his 15th ball game of the year, is our AutoZone player of the game. 9 innings. He allows 6 hits and 2 runs. Gave up a run in the first, a single run in the 6th. And his 9th complete game, of course, leads the National League. 15 wins against 2 losses. His ERA might go up a little bit, but it's not going to go up a whole lot. He's still going to stay under 2, and he continues to impress everyone.
And the Braves continue an impressive streak of their own right here. They have never been swept for the year by a ball club. And that includes some of those ball clubs that we know had trouble scoring runs. And there were some of those ball clubs where you folks saw the really struggles, and you could see the players go up and individually thank the fans. There were that few of you there. Maddux 53-4. You give him 61 runs, give him 4 runs, he will shut it down for you.
Greg has a pretty good sequence that he goes through to try to get ready before a game. He also has one in the post game. So he's going to go back and get some ice. We're going to talk to Dwight Smith instead, because he had a big hit to put the Braves on top, and the Braves win it 5-2. Dwight, nice job again in the pinch.
Thank you, thank you.
A little breathing room is always nice to have even if you're Greg Maddux, and knowing you as we've gotten to know you, that's the kind of spot you relish, isn't it?
Exactly. I've been around Maddux a lot in my career, and I know if we get him some runs late in the game, he's a guy that knows how to close it. He's my thoroughbred, I call him.
You know, you didn't get the base hit, but you got a sacrifice fly. When you come up in that situation, what are you thinking? What do you want to do with the ball?
I mean, I just want to hit the ball hard somewhere, basically how I did. You can't guide the ball. You have to go out every day, basically, and be strong and try to do what's coming off the bench is tough, as you know, so you have to try to just hit the ball hard. I was real mad I didn't get a triple on that, though.
I saw you in the dugout. You were a little steamed. You didn't get more than 1 RBI, and that's certainly natural. Tell us a little bit about Veers. He's a hard thrower, usually has a pretty hard sinker, but looked like he made a mistake upstairs to you.
Right, I think he threw me 2 fork balls behind each other, and what I wanted to do in Houston, he struck me out on that fork ball. I wanted to make sure he gotten it up. He's gotten it up, and I had to swing at it.
You know, I think it's so easy when a Braves ball club has the year that it's having to have a guy like Maddux get a lot of the accolades, and then Justice, McGriff, and Jones getting it. But this ball club has become better with you, with Devereaux, and Polonia.
Exactly. I think if you're going to win a championship, you're going to have depth, you're going to have stability. You're going to have good pitching, good hitting, and good stability on the bench. I think when you got a ball club, when you can lose an everyday player and put somebody in there and don't lose a beat, that's what you got to have going down the stretch.
Dwight, you're awfully cool when you go up there in the pinch, but you're singing the national anthem Labor Day. You nervous about that?
A little bit. It's going to be my first one at home, but I've done it every year. I'm going to do my practice almost like your homework. You do your homework, you should be ready to go to class.
Listen, we thank you for the visit. One more short question for you. Marquise Grissom, David Justice, or you? Who's got the most colorful wardrobe?
It's a
that
tie.
says it all. Nice job, and thank you for the visit.
You're welcome.
Braves win it 5-2 to score. We'll be back to total it up right after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by Delta Airlines, the official airline of the 1996 Olympic Games. And by Aflac, covering the unexpected cost of getting well. Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Well, the Braves rally and they salvage 1 game of 3 with the Houston Astros. With the win tonight, 5-2 is the final. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 6 left on for the Braves. The Astros stranded 4. Greg Maddux earns his 15th save. Doug Drabek, the tough luck loser, at 7-8. 31,274 here at the ballpark tonight to watch Maddux work in a game that took 2 hours and 29 minutes.
The Astros will head out of town. The Cubs are coming into town. Baseball Network will have tomorrow night's ball game. Jim Bullinger against Tom Glavine. Glavine will be going for his 14th win. We'll be back with you on Saturday night when the Cubs will be here, a 7:05 start. Jamie Navarro 12-5 against Steve Avery. Braves will be trying to get Avery on track. That's Saturday. Coming up next, right here, if you like Steve McQueen, one of my favorite actors, you're going to love this movie. It was one of his best. It's called The Hunter. For Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, Pete Van Weeren, Hal Galima, and everybody that you see right there who take great pleasure in bringing you Braves baseball, I'm Don Sutton. Magic number 15, Braves win it 5-2. Good night, everybody.
Leading sports television into the 21st century, this has been an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.